Okay, so now that we know how to solve systems of linear equations by graphing, substitution, and the addition method, now we're just going to construct these systems. And this is basically just kind of the big picture here, right? You're going to be given a word problem, right? English sentences, and then you're going to translate, right, it into a system of linear equations, right, where you are finding, right, your A, B, C, D, E, and F, and X and Y are unknowns. And then you're going to solve the system, right, choosing any method you prefer. And here are just some, again, guidelines to help you solve these word problems. So make sure you identify, right, what you're looking for. Again, most of the time students have trouble with word problems because they don't know what they're looking for. So ask yourself, what am I looking for? Step 2, right, define your unknowns, right? If you're looking for the number of gallons to put in your car, gallons of gas you're going to put in your car, let X be that number, or N be that number. And again, here is the challenge here is to translate this this system, right? Translate the English sentences to construct a system of linear equations. And then finally, step 4 and 5, right? This is what you've been working on. You're either going to solve this system by substitution or elimination. And then finally, you're going to check your answer with both equations, right? It has to satisfy both equations. And of course, ask yourself if this makes sense. I don't have a handout for this specific problem or this page, but you can go ahead and write it down. It's really not that long, and I think it's important that you actually write this down. It's just going to help you remember the steps, especially for your test. Okay, so in the next video, I'm going to go ahead and start the examples. Okay, so basketball admissions. Tickets for the local high school basketball game were priced at $350 for adults and $250 for students. If the income for one game was $950.50 and the attendance was 3,500, how many adults and how many students attended the game? So again, if you want to read it a couple of times, that's completely fine. So again, let's use the guidelines to help us construct the system. So step 1 is, again, identify. What don't we know? Well, we are looking for what? It's usually the last sentence, right, or the question of the problem. How many adults and how many students attended the game? Okay, so we're looking for the number of people, right? We're not looking for the cost of anything. We're not looking, again, we're given the amount, right, how much each ticket costs. So again, we're looking for the number of adults and number of students, right, that attended, and I'll just put BB, basketball game. Again, this is 1 point on your test, and on your ICA, this tells me that you know what you're looking for. Again, I can't assume, I don't know what you're thinking if you don't write it down. Okay, so 2 is define your unknowns, right? So again, what don't we know? Well, we just wrote it down, right above. And again, we want to use algebra. We don't want to write these sentences over and over again. So I'm going to let, just because if it's adults, I'm going to let A be the number of adults. Okay, and I'm going to let, maybe S be the number of students. Okay, so again, this is important that you say what you're defining your variables to be. And step 3 is to translate, right, or construct the system of linear equations. So this is what we want. And let's see, what do they give us? We are given, well, how many total people attended the game? Well, that's definitely 3,500, right? It's not 9,550 because that's money. So the attendance was 3,500. But how do you make up that 3,500? Well, it's the number of adults plus the number of students. So that's just, right? The number of adults plus the number of students is 3,500 students, right? So this equation represents attendance. And let's see, maybe use pink. Well, what else do we know? We know they made close to $10,000. So 9,550, right? This is money. Well, how did they get, 9,550? Well, it depends on the price of the ticket, right? It's $250. Let me maybe erase that just because that's hard to see that. Okay, never mind. 9,550. And let's see, 250 for students. 250 for students, so 250, and that's an S, right? If one student attended the game, that's 250. If two students attended the game, that's 250 plus 250, which is $5, right? If three students, so you just multiply. And the number of adults, right, is a little bit more, which is 350. So 350A. So this is your system of linear equations. And now we want to solve this system. Again, it doesn't matter what method you use as long as you solve it correctly. I think I'm going to use addition here. You could use substitution, but just because the last one was substitution, to give you some practice. So step 3, okay, so step 4, that's the solve part. So I'm going to multiply, let me use another color here. Let's see, I want to get rid of maybe, I don't know, let's just eliminate S. So I'm going to multiply by negative 250. All right, the goal is to eliminate, right? This will hopefully eliminate S. Okay, so if we multiply that out, right, distribute, we just get, and you can just write 2.5, negative 2.5a minus 2.5. Have to be careful here. This is an S, that's a 5. Right, and then you're just punching your calculator, right? 3,500 times 250 times 2.5, and we get negative 8750. And then I'm going to copy the second equation, right? I haven't done anything with the second equation. So 2.5s 9550. Okay, so did this help? Well, 350 minus 250, right, is just 1, right? $1. 1S or 1A, or you can just say A because it's positive. And this is gone, which is what we wanted. And then you just subtract these guys. 9550 minus 8750. So I'm just doing on the calculator. So A is 800. 800 what? 800 adults. Okay, 800 adults attended the game. So how many students attended the game? Well, again, you just go back and you pick one equation, right? I think this one's the easiest one. You can pick this one. You can even pick one of these, but this is just so nice. So let's back substitute. And A plus S, so A plus, that's an S, is 3,500, right? So 800 plus how many students gives you 3,500 students? Well, I mean, you're just going to subtract. I mean, all you're really doing is 3,500 minus 800, right? And you can do that by hand, or you can punch it in your calculator. But you get 2,700 equals S. So that's the number of students that attended the basketball game. And again, a quick check if you want. Well, I'm going to ask them on the test, so you should be comfortable. Well, does 800 plus, 2,700, does that give you 3,500? And I mean, it does if you add it up, or we kind of did it in the last step. It should work. So check. And then finally, 350, okay, times A plus 250, and really you don't need the zero, times S, does that give us $9,550? Well, let's see. A is 800 and S is 2,700. So 800 adults attended. So how much money did they make off 800 adults? Okay, they made $2,800. And 2,700 students attended the game. And at $250 a piece, 2,700 times 2.5 is $6,750. And so does that give you the actual total? And it does. If you add them up, it does give you 9,550. And I believe that's it. So again, I'm just double checking here. 6,750 plus 12, is that 12,800? And let's see, I'm getting 19. Let's see, did I make a mistake? 350 a piece, 800. Oh, it's because it does work. I'm just looking at that as a 1. Okay, so that works out. It makes sense.